I thought I knew what rock bottom felt like. I was wrong. I'm sitting in my corner office on the 42nd floor, looking out over downtown Seattle, and my phone won't stop buzzing. It's my mother. Again. The same number I blocked 3 years ago is now calling from my father's phone, my brother's phone, even numbers I don't recognize. They found me. Let me back up. My name is Elena, and this story starts 7 years ago in the tiny apartment my grandmother lived in for 30 years in Portland. The one that smelled like lavender and old books. The one where I spent every weekend of my childhood because my parents were always too busy with my brother Jordan's football games, his college applications, his life. Grandma Violet died on a Tuesday in March. I was 28, working as a junior analyst at a startup that would go bankrupt 6 months later, though I didn't know that yet. I knew she was sick. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. But I wasn't prepared for the call. I wasn't prepared for a lot of things. The funeral was small. Mom cried the appropriate amount. Dad stood stoic, checking his watch twice during the service. Jordan didn't come at all. Big interview, Mom explained, like that made it acceptable. I was the one who held Grandma's hand in those final weeks. I was the one who read to her from her favorite mystery novels when she was too weak to hold them herself. I was the one she looked at with those sharp gray eyes 3 days before she died and said, "Elena, baby, I need you to listen very carefully." Her grip on my hand was surprisingly strong for someone so frail. There's a leather journal in my nightstand. Bottom drawer, under the photo albums. Take it before your mother gets here. Don't tell anyone. Especially not your mother. Grandma, what? Especially not your mother, she repeated, her voice suddenly clear and firm. And when Mr. Chen calls you, and he will call you, answer. Promise me. Who's Mr. Chen? My attorney. He has something for you. Something I've been saving since you were born. She squeezed my hand. Your mother is going to be angry. She's going to say terrible things. But Elena, you listen to me. You are not the consolation prize. You are not the backup plan. You deserve everything I'm giving you. Do you understand? I didn't understand. Not then. Promise me you'll answer when Mr. Chen calls. I promise, Grandma. She died 68 hours later. I had the journal. I never got the chance to read it because the second Grandma passed, my family descended on her apartment like locusts. We need to go through her things, Mom said, already opening drawers. Figure out what's valuable, what's trash. I held the journal in my purse like a secret, like a bomb. The call came 4 days after the funeral. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but then I remembered. Miss Elena Reeves? This is Richard Chen. I was your grandmother's attorney. I'm very sorry for your loss. Violet was a remarkable woman. Thank you. I need to schedule a time to meet with you regarding your grandmother's estate. Are you available this Thursday at 2? Her estate? I thought she didn't have much. Thursday at 2, Miss Reeves. My office is downtown. Come alone, please. Your grandmother was very specific about that. He gave me the address and hung up. I didn't tell anyone. Something in Grandma's voice, in that warning, told me to keep this close. Thursday came. Chen's office was in a nice building, the kind with marble floors and a doorman. He was in his 60s, gray hair, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Your grandmother spoke of you often, he said after we settled in his office. She was very proud of you. Thank you. He slid a folder across his desk. Violet's estate is relatively straightforward. She owned her apartment outright, paid off years ago. Current market value is approximately $850,000. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? She purchased it in 1985 for $62,000. Portland real estate has appreciated significantly. $850,000. She also had a stock portfolio, managed conservatively. Tech stocks, primarily, purchased in the early 90s, on the advice of a friend who worked at Microsoft. Current value is approximately $1.2 million. The room tilted slightly. Additionally, she had savings and bonds totaling another $100,000. In total, Miss Reeves, your grandmother's estate is valued at approximately $2.1 million. I couldn't breathe. And she left all of it to you. What? Every penny. The will is very clear. You are the sole beneficiary. He opened the folder, showed me the document. My name. Only my name. What about my mom? My dad? Jordan? Not mentioned. Your grandmother was very specific. She said your mother would contest this, which is why we need to be prepared. The will is ironclad. I made sure of that. But Elena, I need you to understand something. He leaned forward. Your grandmother made me promise not to tell your family until after I'd spoken with you. She wanted you to have time to prepare, to protect yourself. She said, and I quote, "My daughter will try to guilt Elena into sharing. She'll say it's selfish, that it's family money, that Violet would have wanted everyone taken care of. But your grandmother was very clear about her intentions." He slid another document toward me. A letter, in Grandma's handwriting. She wanted you to read this. Alone. Before you talk to anyone. My hands shook as I picked it up. My dearest Elena, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and Richard has told you about the money. I imagine you're shocked. Maybe you think it's too much. Maybe you're already feeling guilty. Don't. I worked for 43 years as a nurse. Your grandfather, God rest him, worked as an engineer. We saved everything. We lived below our means. We invested wisely. This money is the result of a lifetime of careful planning. I'm leaving it all to you for several reasons. First, because you were the only one who visited me. Not out of obligation, not when you needed something, but because you loved me. You read to me. You brought me tea. You listened to my stories even though you'd heard them 100 times. Second, because your mother has never appreciated the value of money. She spent your grandfather's life insurance in 2 years on a kitchen renovation and a boat your father never uses. She believes money should be spent, not saved. I will not let her waste what I've built. Third, and most importantly, because you deserve security. You deserve a foundation. You've been the overlooked one your whole life. The one who was doing fine while Jordan needed attention, needed support, needed everything. I see you, Elena. I've always seen you. Your mother is going to be furious. She'll say I was senile. She'll say, you manipulated me. She'll say you're selfish for not sharing. Let her say it. You owe her nothing. This money is yours. Use it wisely. Build something beautiful. And Elena, don't trust anyone. Especially not your mother. All my love, Grandma. I was crying before I finished reading. Take your time, Mr. Chen said softly. I wiped my eyes. When will my family find out? I'm required to notify all immediate family members of the will's contents within 10 days of our first meeting. I can delay it slightly, but not much longer. I wanted you to have this week to prepare. Prepare for what? For the storm, Miss Reeves. He wasn't wrong. 6 days later, my phone rang. Elena Marie Reeves, what the hell is this? Hi, Mom. Don't you hi mom me. I just got a letter from some lawyer saying Grandma left you everything. Everything. That's not possible. There's been a mistake. It's not a mistake. Of course it's a mistake. Grandma wouldn't cut out her own daughter. Her grandson. This is insane. You need to call this Chen person and fix this. There's nothing to fix. Grandma left me her estate. That's what she wanted. What she wanted. Elena. She was 92 years old and dying of cancer. She wasn't thinking clearly. You probably convinced her, didn't you? Spending all that time there, reading to her, playing the devoted granddaughter. I was the devoted granddaughter. This is selfish, Elena. It's family money. It should be divided equally. There it was. The word Grandma predicted. Selfish. It's not family money, Mom. It's my money. Grandma earned it. She saved it. And she chose to leave it to me. How much are we talking about? I hesitated. Elena, how much? That's between me and the estate attorney. Don't tell me. But you need to do the right thing here. Jordan is drowning in student loans. Your father and I were counting on something from Grandma to help with retirement. You can't just take everything. I didn't take anything. I was given it. You know what I mean? Don't be difficult. I'm not being difficult. I'm following Grandma's wishes. Her wishes? Elena, she left me nothing. Her own daughter. Nothing. Do you know how that feels? I thought about every childhood recital my parents missed because of Jordan's games. Every birthday where my gift was an afterthought. Every family photo where Jordan stood in the center and I was half cropped out on the edge. Yeah, Mom. I know how that feels. This is ridiculous. We'll contest the will. Chen said you might say that. He also said the will is ironclad. You'll waste money on lawyers and lose. You've really thought this through, haven't you? God, Elena, I didn't raise you to be this selfish. You barely raised me at all. The line went quiet. What did you just say to me? I need to go, Mom. Elena, don't you dare hang up on. I hung up. She called back immediately. I didn't answer. Then Dad called. Then Jordan. I ignored them all. That night, they showed up at my apartment. All three of them. Standing in my doorway like some kind of intervention. We need to talk, Dad said. I should have closed the door. I didn't. They came in. Mom sat on my couch like she owned it. Jordan leaned against my kitchen counter. Dad stood by the door, arms crossed. Elena, we're family, Mom started. And family shares. Grandma was family too. She chose not to share. She was old and sick. You took advantage of her. I visited her. I loved her. That's not taking advantage. You clearly said something to make her think we didn't care. You didn't care. Jordan didn't even come to her funeral. I had an interview, Jordan said. A really important one. Grandma would have understood. She understood perfectly. That's why her will says what it says. Mom's eyes were red. Elena, please. Just think about this reasonably. $2 million? How do you know it's $2 million? She faltered. The lawyer mentioned the property value, and I assumed. You called him and tried to get information. I'm her daughter. I have a right to know. You have a right to nothing. The will is clear. At least help your brother with his loans, Dad said quietly. He's got over $300,000 in debt from medical school. Medical school he went to because you guys pushed him into it. Medical school, where he partied for 6 years instead of 4. Jordan's face flushed. That's not fair. You're right. What's not fair is that I paid my own way through college with scholarships and work study while you two paid for everything for Jordan. What's not fair is that I've been financially independent since I was 22, while Jordan is 30 and still asking you for rent money. This isn't about the past, Mom said. This is about doing the right thing now. The right thing is honoring Grandma's wishes. The right thing is taking care of family. Then where were you when I needed help? When I was eating ramen for every meal in college? When my car broke down and I had to take 3 buses to get to work? Where was the family then? That's different, Mom said. You were always fine. You never needed help. I never asked for help because every time I did, you told me you were busy with Jordan. He needed us more. And now you need me. Funny how that works. Mom stood up. Elena, I'm going to say this one time. If you don't share this inheritance, you are out of this family. Do you understand? We will not have a relationship with someone so selfish and ungrateful. My heart was pounding. Get out. Excuse me? Get out of my apartment. Elena. Get out. They left. I locked the door behind them and slid down against it, crying. That was 7 years ago. I didn't share a penny. Instead, I paid off my student loans. All $60,000. Gone in one payment. The relief was indescribable. I put a down payment on a small condo. Nothing fancy, but mine. Truly mine. I invested the rest with a financial advisor, the same way Grandma had. Tech stocks. Index funds. Conservative and smart. And I went back to school. Got my MBA. Studied nights and weekends while working full-time. My family didn't speak to me. Not on my birthday. Not on Christmas. Not when I graduated. Nothing. It hurt. God, it hurt. But I kept moving. I got a job at a tech consulting firm. Worked harder than anyone. Stayed late. Came in early. Proved myself. 3 years ago, I made senior consultant. Last year, I made partner. Youngest in the firm's history. The investments grew. The condo appreciated. I sold it and bought a house in Queen Anne with a view of the water. I was fine. Better than fine. I was thriving. And my family? I didn't know. I didn't ask. I blocked their numbers. I didn't look at their social media. I moved on. Until yesterday. Yesterday, Jordan showed up at my office building. The receptionist called me. There's a Jordan Reeves here to see you? Says he's your brother? My stomach dropped. Tell him I'm not available. He says it's an emergency. About your mother. Damn it. I went downstairs. He was in the lobby, and I barely recognized him. He'd gained weight, lost hair, looked 10 years older than he was. Elena. What's the emergency? Can we talk somewhere private? Tell me here or leave. He glanced around at the busy lobby. Mum's sick. Really sick. Ovarian cancer. Stage 3. My chest tightened. When? Diagnosed 4 months ago. She's been doing chemo, but it's not working. The doctors want to try this experimental treatment, but insurance won't cover it. We need $300,000. There it was. And you're here because? Because we're family, Elena. I know things ended badly, but Mom is dying. We need help. Where's Dad? His business went under 2 years ago. He's working as a consultant now, but there's no money. I'm still paying off my loans. We've got nothing. What about the boat? The renovated kitchen? His jaw tightened. Sold the boat 5 years ago. The kitchen doesn't help us now. So you need $300,000. And 7 years ago, when Mom told me I'd be dead to all of you if I didn't give you money, where was the family then? Elena, come on. She was angry. People say things. She meant it. You all meant it. I didn't hear from any of you for 7 years. Not one word. But now that you need money, suddenly I'm family again? She's dying. Grandma was dying. None of you cared enough to show up. That's different. How? How is it different? Because Mom is my mother. Your mother. She raised us. She raised you, Jordan. I was just there. He ran his hand through his thinning hair. Look, I know you're angry. I get it. But can you really live with yourself if she dies and you could have helped? The guilt. Right on schedule. I need to think about it. His face lit up. Really? I said I need to think. Give me your number. He did. I took it and went back upstairs. I didn't call. Instead, I called Mr. Elena, it's good to hear from you. How are you? I need advice. Legal advice. I explained the situation. Jordan, the money. What does your gut tell you? He asked. That if I give them money, they'll be back in 6 months asking for more. That this won't fix anything. That I'll become the family ATM. Your grandmother knew your mother well. She did. Do you want to help? I want my mom not to die. But I don't want to be used. Those are 2 different things. I know. He was quiet for a moment. There might be a middle ground. But it would require your family to agree to certain terms. Legal terms. Tell me. We talked for an hour. 3 days later, I called Jordan. Meet me at Mom and Dad's house. Tomorrow at 2. Bring everyone. Does this mean just be there? I showed up with Mr. Chen and a folder. Mom was on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. She looked tiny, fragile. Dad sat next to her. Jordan stood by the fireplace. Elena, Mom said softly. Thank you for coming. I sat across from her. Chen stood by my side. This is Richard Chen, Grandma's attorney, my attorney. Dad's expression darkened. We don't need lawyers for a family conversation. This isn't a family conversation. This is a business transaction. Elena? Jordan started. I held up my hand. Let me finish. I'm willing to help with Mom's treatment. All of it. The experimental treatment, additional care, whatever she needs. I'll cover it. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Oh, sweetheart. But there are conditions. The room went cold. Conditions? Dad said. Chen opened the folder. Miss Reeves is willing to pay for all medical expenses related to Mrs. Reeves's cancer treatment. In exchange, the family agrees to the following terms. He pulled out a document. First, this is a one-time payment. There will be no additional financial requests of any kind, for any reason, in perpetuity. Second, the family acknowledges that this payment is a gift, not a loan, and not an admission of any obligation. Third, the family agrees to waive any future claims against Violet Reeves's estate or Elena Reeves's assets. You've got to be kidding, Jordan said. Fourth, Mr. Chen continued, the family agrees to attend a minimum of 6 months of family therapy, paid for by Miss Reeves, to address the underlying relationship issues that led to the 7-year estrangement. Therapy, Mom said. If you want my help, we're going to fix this. Really fix it, not just patch it over with money. This is insulting, Dad said. This is the offer. Take it or leave it. Mom was crying. Elena, please. We're your family. We shouldn't need contracts and lawyers. You're right. We shouldn't. But 7 years ago, you told me I was dead to you if I didn't give you money. You cut me out completely. You chose money over me. So now, if you want my money, I get to choose the terms. We were angry, Mom said. You were cruel. People make mistakes. And people live with consequences. I stood up. Chen will leave the contract. You have 48 hours to decide. If you sign, I'll transfer the money to the hospital directly. If you don't, I wish you the best. But we're done here. I walked toward the door. Elena, wait. I turned. Mom was standing, the blanket falling to the floor. I'm sorry. I stopped. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for how we treated you. I'm sorry we made you feel invisible. You're right. About all of it. We chose Jordan. We always chose Jordan. And we chose money over you. I can't take that back. She was really crying now. But I'm asking you, as your mother, to please not let me die like this. Please. I want to fix this. I want to know you again. I want to be your mom. Something in my chest cracked. Then sign the contract. Go to therapy. Show me you mean it. I will. I swear I will. I looked at Dad. Jordan, what about you two? Dad nodded slowly. I'll sign. Jordan took longer. But finally, yeah, 48 hours, I said, and left. They signed in 24. That was 6 months ago. Mom's in remission. The experimental treatment worked. She's getting stronger every day. We've been in therapy every week. All of us. It's brutal and uncomfortable and absolutely necessary. Last week, Mom apologized to me in session for the first time. Really apologized. No excuse. No justifications. Just, I'm sorry I made you feel like you didn't matter. You matter. You've always mattered. I cried for an hour. Jordan's working on his stuff too. The golden child syndrome. The pressure. The resentment. We're not friends yet, but we're talking. Dad's the hardest. He doesn't like feelings. But he's trying. This morning, Mom called me just to chat. Not because she needed anything, just because she wanted to hear my voice. It felt like being seen for the first time in my life. I'm sitting in my office now, looking at the photo on my desk. It's Grandma and me at my college graduation, the only person who came. I hope I'm making you proud, I say to the photo. My phone buzzes. It's Mom. Thinking about you, honey. Love you. I smile. Love you too, Mom. Maybe money can't buy happiness, but it can buy boundaries. It can buy respect. It can buy the space to heal. And sometimes, that's worth more than anything. I learned that from Grandma. She knew exactly what she was doing. She gave me more than money. She gave me the power to choose. And I chose myself first. Then, when I was strong enough, I chose to let them back in. On my terms. But here's the lesson I want to leave you with. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is say no. Sometimes boundaries are the only thing that saves you. And sometimes, the people who call you selfish for protecting yourself are the ones who benefit most from you having no protection at all. Your worth isn't measured by who values you. It's measured by how you value yourself. What would you have done differently? Would you have given them the money 7 years ago? Would you have kept it all now? Would you have required the therapy? I don't know if I made the right choice. But it was my choice. And that's what Grandma wanted. That's what she gave me. The power to choose.